What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Best Show Ever podcast, the podcast where I interview people about the best shows they've ever seen in their lives. I'm your host, Cam Hurt, and this is a fantastic episode with an old comedy buddy of mine and a guy who is just out there killing it as a stand-up right now. We even have a nice little moment in the middle of this episode where we just acknowledge how proud we are of each other for not giving up and not being accountants. And still doing comedy. But this comedian that I'm talking to this week about his best show ever is Tyler Horvath. You can find him on Instagram at Tyler J. Horvath. Fantastic stand-up, working out of New York these days. But we met back in Chicago, specifically through a place that I used to perform a lot as well, Logan Square Improv. And they would do a Thursday show there that was kind of like a variety show where there'd be improv and stand-up and sketch and characters and all kind of stuff going on that I was like super involved in for a long time in Chicago and loved that show. And so did Tyler. And whenever he was on the show, he fucking murdered. And it was really cool to hear from him recently that he had gone out to Oasis this summer in London at Wembley and saw an amazing show. And it was like, he's like, I love that you're doing this podcast. I want to talk about the show if that's cool. And I was like, yes, it is cool. And we should talk about it. And so we talk a little bit about that show and then like the shows that lead up to his fandom of Oasis and like kind of how that all worked for him. And we talk about comedy and we talk about his career and maybe even a little bit how that show and then seeing Oasis again in the US maybe inspired his comedy moving forward. We tie it all together. It's a fantastic episode. You're already listening to it. I don't know why I'm pitching you on the episode. You know what I mean? You got it. You're already in. You're listening to it. I bet you can't wait to get to the conversation and get past this intro, which we will get on from this intro. We will get into the conversation that I had with Tyler. If you're interested in seeing Tyler, which you should be because he's fantastic, in Hartford, Connecticut, November 22nd and 23rd, he is featuring for Jeremiah Watkins. Go at the Funny Bone, by the way. Go check out that show. Get tickets to both of those shows. And then if you're out in Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado, he's going to be at the Comedy Fort opening for Jeffrey Asmus, who we talk a little bit about in this episode. Another fantastic stand-up. Those guys together had just been playing shows all over the country recently, and it sounds like they've been going fantastically. And so go check out one of those shows and see Tyler and Jeffrey together. And that's enough intro out of me. Enjoy this conversation that I had with Tyler Horvath. But first, there's a little bit of music from Loon.
Doing comedy, and some weeks are great. Last weekend I was in Portland opening for Jeffrey Asmus. Like, everything sold out, wall to wall, crazy, selling koozies, making millions on koozies. Right. And then this weekend I'm headlining on my own, and I go, I gotta sell the tickets, huh?
Oh,
that is more difficult.
Yeah.
So,
where are you playing?
But yeah, no, it's great. I'm in Columbus right now, Columbus, Ohio, one of the great cities in America.
Oh yeah.
I'm just playing a little. It's an improv theater, actually. It's called the Hashtag out here, and it's good. It's been fun. It's just, it's whiplash from the you got the highs and lows of the road. You know what I mean,
dude? And it's just all of the good feeling from the show that you just sold out gets wiped out when you're like, we've only sold 30% of the tickets. It's immediately you forgot about that, and it's on to the, and it's always like the day of, like you can't even like get to a place where you're fun because you're just like, so where are we at with the tickets? One more time?
I was gonna say all the energy that you should be putting into the show itself, you're going.
So like,
where are we at with the tickets?
Just
what's going on with those tickies?
Hey, just checking in one more time about the tickets.
Hey, hate to be a bother, but I do want to see how my night's gonna go.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
but yeah, how you been, man?
Been
sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, dude, been great. I'm living up in the Bay now, and so not in LA anymore, but I'm loving it up here, and I'm starting to kind of like crack into their their comedy scene here, like in the Bay, which is great.
Yeah,
Already last night went to a
I've
mic,
heard it's great.
and there was someone in a full fishnet outfit on on stage,
As you do.
and yeah,
As you do.
just letting us know what goes on at sex clubs. I was like, I'm home. We're here. We're doing it. This is great.
All of my decisions have been correct that have led me to this place.
No, it's cool. I've obviously been traveling and doing like hosting stuff for the music thing, but this scene here already feels a little like how Chicago was. Like there's some like old heads that are still there, just love comedy, love the scene, love hosting a mic at a bar, you know, and they're still doing it. And then there's like definitely, a lot of like younger comics, get like it's a good little community out here. Yeah, I'm already loving it. Yeah.
Cool. That's exciting, man. I mean, I think that's like that's what you want, I think that was part of what the magic of Chicago was. It's like it's like a real scene, and like you find where you fit in that, and it's cool to see to hear that that's going on out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like you'll break in and they'll be like, what the hell is it? What's he doing here? This guy, why is this guy so good already? We just met him.
People do the like, you from Chicago thing, like right away after you do a mic. You seem like you're like from Chicago, like your whole.
That's interesting.
I feel like I've gotten that like a bunch of times. I got in LA a bunch too. People would be like, let me guess, you're like, you did the Chicago thing?
You one of those Chicago guys? Is it because you're
you like did a good job?
I mean, I'm
biased.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm very biased, but it's like, oh, you're actually good. Did you spend time in Chicago?
But you tried really hard tonight, man. What's that? Chicago?
So
that second
funny.
city?
It's like, it reminds me of what I heard Neil Brennan talk about when he did the Chappelle induction to the Kennedy Center thing. I don't know if you saw any of that, but he like did amazing on it.
Yeah.
And he was like, he just like crushed. And I heard him later talking about how everyone after was like, what the hell was that, dude? And he's like, yeah, very Neil Brennan. He's like, yeah, I tried.
My bad.
I tried really hard. Okay.
All the other comedians like, dude, what the fuck? Like it's gym class.
What the hell? We're phoning this in.
Dude,
it's only a lifelong honor for one of the great comedians of all time.
Fucking chill.
That has let's be clear, has gone off the rails. I don't want to be on record that everything he's doing now is great.
And that's why they were saying that. Like, dude, what's with all the honoring? Have you been on Instagram in the last? No, yeah.
Why don't you have moral judgment over your friend and colleague over the last 4 decades? What's that? Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah, that just shows that like that'll happen on every level. When one day you're getting inducted into the Kennedy Center, someone's going to call you a tryhard, and so there you go.
Yeah. That there's no relief from the anxiety of performance.
Exactly, dude. It's I'm sure we'll talk about comedy kind of within this. I'm sure that it'll weave itself through the episode, but we're going to talk about you as a concert goer today. That's what this whole interview is about.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. I saw that you were doing that as that was the concept of the show. And I was like, man, that's cool. Cause it is like and then I listened to episodes and it was like, okay, we are talking about, and I do have a specific show to talk about, but the arc that you say of like, oh, where did you start going to shows? What was, and that's interesting. That is it's like a part of your cultural, life that you have growing up, and it's cool I've heard some of your other guys. I mean, like listening to Rory talk about all that stuff, it was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, super cool of him to do that. And also, like I've always said that you can just learn a lot about someone by the concerts that they've gone to and like what they've prioritized and going to see, and then also just like what they like what is cool for them at a show like that. You just learn a lot about someone that way. And so and then hopefully we like bump into all the cool stuff you've done in your life along the way, which
We'll see.
We'll
We'll
see.
see. Well, it's interesting because I feel like I'm going through. I think that the Oasis show that I went to in London really cracked me open in terms of like, wow, this is a thing that I want to do a lot more.
Hell yeah.
Because, I went to a lot of shows when I was young, and then there was a big gap of time there. And I think it also coincided with like an anxious time in my life of like not wanting to be too in crowds and like, you know what I mean? And then I think there was a gap. That was all a gap between like when I was young, I went to a lot of shows and then didn't for a long time. And then now I feel like, whoa, anything that I'm interested in, I gotta go. I don't want to miss it, because now it's like, and I know you know this, but it's like those moments are just like they're so unforgettable, and you can't. There's nothing that compares. It's crazy.
Yeah, you kind of like know that you need that while it's happening. You're like, oh, I like this was like super necessary or something. But yeah, they're same thing.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when you're a kid, those are some of the first times that you're like getting to be like independent, and you just want to
Hmm.
go out and be with your buddies and go to a show and stuff like that. And also like the nature of what
Yeah.
you and like we were doing shows like especially when I was in Chicago, I was doing shows like all the time. Like I wasn't like traveling to see a band, or like I wasn't like
Hmm.
really looking up like the music venues in Chicago's schedules or anything like that. I was like, doing a lot of shows, and you're
Yeah.
on the road doing a lot of
You were
shows.
busy.
You usually do it at the same time that
Busy.
bands play. So yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I was like, I've been running around Columbus the last 2 days trying to fill this room out, just talking to anyone that I meet, just like, hey, you ever heard of stand-up comedy? Because I do that, and I'm doing it at 9 p.m. tonight, and here are some half off tickets.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the people that are like on board are like service industry people,
Yes.
at a restaurant or whatever that I'm hanging out at. And it's like, they're like, I'd love to, but I'm work. It's like a lot of the people that are cool and would want to come. It's like we work at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's that same thing of like that you're talking about. It's like, yeah, a lot of the shows that you'd want to go see, it's like somewhat frustrating, but there is another thing of like, you just have to be really intentional with what do you prioritize, what's a show that's worth you like really, really planning and getting everything in order and off of work essentially to go see,
Yes. And then
Yeah.
it makes it more
And when you're
special.
young, you have nothing going
Yeah,
on.
you don't have
Yeah,
a
it does.
goddamn thing to do. You're just like on like
Yeah,
bands in
exactly.
town looking to see what's coming through. Yeah.
It was literally like, dude, and it was also, I don't know if you had this experience, but I also tried a lot of personalities on through going to shows.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was a the Tampa where I grew up I grew up in Tampa, and that was like a hardcore scene.
Yeah.
And it was really sick. And like looking back, I'm really glad I went. And like now I listen to hardcore music, and I'm like, I'm so glad I was exposed to this early. Because also, if you didn't have that early, I feel like you don't. If you're not a kid listening to hardcore, I don't think you're getting into hardcore at like 50. You know what I mean?
Definitely
You're gonna be
not.
like, you're gonna be like, what are these kids? What's going on with these kids? These kids should get jobs. You know what I mean?
My dad liked metal music in the 80s, and now I'll try to show him King Giz and stuff. He's like, these guys are, yeah, you can't play
the
music
heck?
like this. It's not music.
What's going on with these guys? Yeah, that's when you've really
Yeah.
gone, and you go like, you're on the back nine when you go, that's not music.
That's not music.
You know? Not even like, I don't care for this music, of just going like, no, that's not music.
It's not even in the
Categorically.
conversation of music.
It's not, doesn't exist in the world of what I define as music. Yeah. But yeah, the Tampa scene, man, when I was a kid, when I was in high school and stuff, it was very much, and I was like, there were people that I ended up being like friends with later in life that were in bands at the time that I would go see at like, there's also very like a straight edgy thing, like hardcore
Definitely.
thing going on in Florida. And it was like a lot of churches. It was like shows at churches,
Dude.
especially like young.
This was the Midwest as well. This was also Wisconsin,
Was
where I was in high school.
You know,
Yeah.
I've heard this. I've heard this. I think that that's so interesting because that's such a. It feels so specific.
Yeah.
And I think it is like kind of those two places.
I think you also might be in one of the real meccas of the Christian straight edge metal early aughts. Like Ohio was big into
Columbus?
this. Oh yeah, big time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
hell yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. You know, it was like, you know, everyone's ostensibly sober, but I mean, there's a weird crossover thing going on there with like, sort of the same vibe as like speaking in tongues.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like the spirit of God is in you, and now you're two stepping.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
It's
except
like,
it's like really hard
Yeah.
fucking
yeah.
moshing and
So
stuff.
why if we're all sober, why is that guy's nose broken?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Why is everyone being so fucked up if no one's fucked up?
Yeah.
Everyone's like
Oh my
being
God.
really fucked up right now. Yeah.
and there were people that like most people were there just like enjoying it, but there was and I think this probably happens at a lot of shows, but there was a real performative aspect as well of like, I'm the most this guy who goes to this show. You know what I mean?
Big time, dude.
Like, I'm gonna hit whoever's in the crowd, dude. I don't care if you opted into the area where everyone seems to be moshing. You are getting hit if you're even in the vicinity. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna look like I'm
guys
gonna
that
do
would-
that. I'm gonna look like I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that and be like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yep.
probably gonna
It's
talk
all-
about it too. Really a lot.
Yep. And then in 5 years, I'm gonna join the army.
Big time. This is
Yeah,
all
dude.
pre ROTC for me, dude. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to get to ROTC.
I have a path in life.
And tonight you're in the middle of it, and so you're getting fucking crowd killed, bro. But you know, what you then find out as you get older is that every scene has those people. Like there is the hippie version of that
Yeah.
in the Deadhead thing of the most
Yeah.
hippie person ever.
Well, I'm curious about that because I'm not in that world at all, and it's obviously less violent, at least.
Yeah.
I would guess
Yes.
so. But is there of like versions of that where they're like, I'm the most
Oh yeah.
Deadhead guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gotta be right.
And the most fish head guy and the most and the there's like a little holier than thou thing of like you're not even dressed like a wook. Look at you. You couldn't possibly be. And it's like, yeah, it's just like the same thing as like the guys in the costume at the metal show back in high school who had like all black
Mhm.
on and leather and stuff, and they were being that guy for the night and like letting the spirit of metal move them, you know? It's the same thing at the hippie stuff. Like there is like the, you know,
Yeah, it was like the guy with the green hair at the Tool show when I was young. Also, was that guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yes.
Which was another band that I went and saw a few times. That was, I mean, I love Tool so much. They're incredible. But that was another era. It was like there was like the local scene of like the hardcore in Florida, and that was like, and then there was like, you know, Day to Remember came
Dude.
out, and then they got huge.
Yep.
And it was like, and then it was like weird. It was like my first experience of the thing where it was like some like people being really, really into a thing, and then they get successful, and then being like,
Yep.
they suck now.
Ruined it.
And I'm like, they're literally doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And it was like,
Yeah.
it was confusing but interesting. You know what I mean?
Was that
But yeah, there was that local scene.
like maybe the first show you went to? Would you consider that like the first show you ever saw?
No, so the first show I ever saw was I moved to Florida when I was 10.
Mm.
The first show I ever went to was Backstreet Boys
Yes.
in Michigan.
Fuck yeah.
I was born in Michigan, and yeah, we went to Backstreet Boys I went with my friends who were triplets that were born on Halloween. Yeah.
I feel like there's
I
a
don't even
fuck
know if
ton
this is.
of triplets in Michigan. I don't know what it is. I feel like that's the highest concentration of triplets in our country.
It might be it might be the water, man. I was born in Flint. There is something
Oh shit.
there, maybe.
Okay.
You know,
Now I'm getting. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
might be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think.
there's
And
wires
then
behind
there's
me.
3 of them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Born on Halloween.
Dude.
Okay.
Come on. But that was like a birthday
There
show.
was,
You like?
there was Eye of Newt involved. Yeah. No, I don't know what. I mean, Backstreet Boys was, we were children. We were like 8, 9 years old, and it was just like they must have. I don't know. Maybe they fucking. I don't know. Oh, sorry, can I curse on here?
Yeah, you can definitely curse on here. It's totally
Okay,
cool, and
yeah.
and you don't have to apologize for seeing the Backstreet Boys at 9. You didn't have taste. You were
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
cultureless and just seeing pop bullshit.
Yeah,
when you were 9.
I was literally. There's nothing more cultureless than a 9-year-old American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even have, in any other culture, I'd know how to make a paella or something.
Yeah.
At least something.
Right.
Whatever the equivalent would be. But I was just in Michigan being 9, and I was like, yeah, tell me why, let's go. So yeah, I mean, that was the first show I ever went to. And that was like, obviously like an arena, and it was very like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
It was a spectacle. And I just remember being very overwhelmed. I was an anxious child, and I was just kind of like this the whole time. And then like maybe a little bit going like, yeah, this is good.
Just being normal on the outside. Already
Trying
learning
to
that skill.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's I mean, a lot of people talk about their first show being something that they kind of got like shuffled to with a group of people and almost against their will a little bit. And like, yeah, that's like it's like kind of getting pushed into a pool, even if it's like something that's like safe, generally for like a children's audience is like Backstreet Boys in the 90s is probably like totally fine, or early 2000s or whatever. But like, yeah, it's still, if you're an anxious little kid.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. But it was, I don't know. I mean, I really don't, it's like that I'm trying to think if I have any more actual memories about it, but it's like, I think it's just in that little period of like, I remember that happened, and that's kind of it, what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't really come away from that with much, but then in Florida, like I said, it was such a scene, and it was like people that I like, friends of friends started to go to like shows at these churches. And then there was a venue out back of the skate park of Tampa that was really cool. It was called Transitions. And that was like a cool little, it was like basically it was like the size of like Zanies in Old Town.
Yes.
But it was like, a fucking rock club. And they had everybody from like, I mean, I saw like, a lot of local bands, Until Eternity, gosh, it's like these names are like right in the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
but
dude.
Until Eternity was the one, that was like the one.
Fuck
back
yeah.
then. And they were awesome, man. They were so fun. And then, I saw like Whitechapel there. Do you know Whitechapel?
I don't know Whitechapel, but
very brutal, like, honestly disgusting metal band, like actually gross lyrics,
Yeah.
if you which you can't understand at all, and then you read the lyrics and you go, okay, that's horrible.
And again, when you're in high school, you're like, fuck yeah, dude.
Just doing this, making this face for an hour, going, yeah, this is probably who I am. I really think that was what it was, is I was just trying it on, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that I did. And I met a lot of like, that's what we're all doing at that age, in like high school, late middle, early high school, all that. It's like
just trying stuff on.
Just trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Trying to figure it out.
And there was a bunch of other sweet little anxious teenagers at that show too, that were trying it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting hit in the face.
And getting hit in the face.
Getting really hit in the face hard. But then I feel like I started to find stuff that I got introduced to like Seosin.
Yep.
I really loved back in the day, and then that going into like Circus Survive, and then we'd go to Warp Tour, and yeah, it was just so it was like going from that like very much insulated scene into like the broader world of going to shows and like seeing these bigger shows. And I remember I saw Seosin like with Tool, which was like sort of a weird pairing, I think, a little bit,
Yeah.
but it was some like festival that doesn't exist anymore that I can't remember the name of, but it was like they were trying to get something off the ground of like it was like 5 bands, and the two that I remember were like Seosin and Tool, and it was like amazing,
Hell yeah.
incredible show.
And I mean, when you're in those local scenes, or I mean, just when you're at shows at all, there's always the possibility of just an absolute stinker. Do you have a worst show ever from that time in your life, or a worst show ever that you remember experience? Could have been your fault.
Worst show could have been my fault. Yeah, I just didn't get it, you know. But no, I'm trying to think. Well, one of the Warp Tours that I went was the worst just because of like dehydration.
Yeah.
It was Florida summer. It was like brutal as hell. And then, you're broke and water's $9 and you're like, this feels illegal. Like how am I?
I'm gonna die.
I just need some water in me so that I can watch Coheed and Cambria. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna die.
I'm
out
a
here.
child. Okay, still at this point.
Yeah, I'm literally a child, and I'm gonna die if you don't give me water, and I don't have $9.
So please.
So I think that was very overwhelming and brutal, just from like those like logistical physical problems. But worst show of like, I'm trying to think, was there a bad performance? Yeah, I don't really think nothing comes to mind of like bad performance, but also that Whitechapel show was like legitimately scary.
Yeah.
Like being in that tiny venue and like giant 20 something men, and I'm 17, and they're all like actually trying to hurt anyone in the crowd. That was like terrifying, and I was like, oh, this isn't this is where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
When you're into that like heavier music, that community of people, like you're always like, dude, it's actually a lot of sweet folks. Like actually people are very respectful. Like you'd be surprised. And then there's a couple shows you're like, they achieved fear here.
Mm-hmm.
Fear
And that's what they
achieved.
want. And I think the first part of what you're saying is more when people get older and are still into those bands.
Yeah.
But when you're young and people are just angsty and angry about the circumstances that America has put them in,
Yeah.
and they go, you know what? Here's someone to take it out on. You know what I mean? Like there was like legitimate violence going on at some of these shows.
Big time.
When you're young. And I think, once you get older and everyone is kind of like, hey, I know I look intimidating, but I have 2 children and it's all good. We're just hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, no, that is a real place for some of the real anger that you have when you're younger. Which you need. You need rooms like that. You need spaces like that.
And there were times like I was, like I said, I was trying on a personality of like, maybe I'm this guy, but then, I was like scared to get a tattoo, so I'm like, I'm not,
Maybe I'm not that guy.
This guy.
Fuck.
I'm not. Fuck. I want a guy to be.
Dude, I thought I was going to be in the NBA first, so that's where I started. Right. We've tried on a lot of guys since then.
I thought I was going to be a professional soccer player, which is like, was not even a thing in America. Like MLS was like, it barely existed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got this. I'm going to forge a path, like, so yeah, you got to, once those dreams die, you got to find a guy to be. And yeah, I wasn't that guy, but there were really cool shows that I went to during that time. It was very fun, but yeah, it wasn't. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's wearing this sweater now.
You found your guy.
Sweater, iced coffee guy.
Yeah, exactly. It fits, dude. I believe it. You know what I mean?
I'll take it. That's all I wanted.
No, I mean,
just want to be believable,
dude. Like when it comes to like seeing you on stage or going to one of your shows, like I pretty much immediately, like the first time I ever saw you at Logan Square Improv, I'm like, or it might have even been on the Thursday show when it was not at Logan Square Improv, when it was at the bar first. You're like, this is a guy that I know. That's like the best quality a comedian or entertainer can have. Be like, dude, I fucking know this guy. And you always did such a great job of talking around anxiety or depression and things like that, especially like the gratitude joke. I won't do it. I'll butcher it. But the 5, like you just got to tell yourself 5 things in the morning and it works and that sucks. Is like, I think about it when I'm doing the gratitude shit. I'm like, it works and it sucks. Like it's such an incredible bit. Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. And I felt the same way with you, man. I know I've said this in the past, drunkenly been like, dude, you're a funny guy. You're one of the funniest guys in the group, you know. But I really, I felt the same way when I saw you perform in the improv groups that I saw you perform, and I was like, that guy, you know. and so I really appreciate hearing that from you, because you know it's mutual. I think. And I'm just glad to see that we're both not accountants or whatever. God. You know what I mean?
Someone would lose so much money. This is so much better for everybody that I'm doing this. Not for me, also but for everybody.
Also, our souls are one thing, but also we'd be really losing a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah. No, just
actually bad at it.
It'd be a terrible pick. No, but I was stoked that you wanted to talk about shows and. We've talked about some anxiety-inducing shows, but what about some of like maybe not the best show you ever saw in your life, but do you have any like honorable mention shows that you'd be remiss not to bring up?
Well, one that I thought was going to be, I mean, I was very like, okay, I'll go. It was like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And then I had a fucking blast.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was. My girlfriend's work, like friends, she worked at like a small startup, and her like friend / the CEO of the startup was like, hey, I'm getting tickets to Lady Gaga. Do you want to come to, this is when we still lived in Chicago. She was like, do you want to come to New York and come? And she was like, yeah, oh my God, yes, of course. And she got me a ticket. And, was like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, I'd trip to New York, try to do some terrible New York City open mics that I have to pay for.
Yeah.
And go see Lady Gaga. Excuse me. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing, incredible. And we were like pretty close too. And it was such a show.
Yeah.
Such a spectacle. And this was right after I think it was right after A Star Is Born, and when she was singing that, I was just like, crying. Like,
show sucks.
This is gay. Dude.
This is really gay. It's not cool.
It's really,
dude. I mean,
gay,
massive production value at that show. Like on top of how talented she is as a performer and a vocalist, like. At the show I saw, there was fireworks. She like was on wires multiple points during the show.
Yeah,
it was at Wrigley Field.
Yeah,
like it was.
That's a great.
It was
awesome.
I was like
there too.
I'm like, we didn't get to see like Michael Jackson or like Madonna in the '80s or anything. This feels like there's only a few performers that can like necessitate that sort of production value. Like there's only a couple of bands like Ed Sheeran can't fucking. That would be a really dumb, stupid show, or like Post Malone, or like any of these.
Well, skipping forward to Oasis, if Liam Gallagher was on wires, I'd be like,
"What the fuck?
We lost the plot here.
What the fuck are we?
We really lost the plot here."
But it works. Like we talk about believable really guys. Does. Like how is like Lady Gaga still believable as like a lobster flying through the air? on a spaceship, you know, and with
Yeah.
incredible vocals. Yeah, it was
And the way she plays that piano that is a tree also, incredible.
nuts, dude.
Incredible.
It's got to be so hard to learn. Yeah, no, let's skip forward to Oasis. That is
She
why.
just she's playing random trees and she goes, "Wait, this is the one." You know, this one has all the keys. This is crazy.
Do you think they can plug this in at
Nature
Wrigley
provides
Field? Can we amplify this at
Can
Wrigley
we
Field?
airlift this? Can we airlift this to wherever I need to go?
Thank you. No, let's please fast forward to Oasis, because that is what we're here to talk about. You saw Oasis in the UK this summer. That's
Yes,
a massive thing.
It was, and I really only relatively recently got into them, and I was like, I mean, I knew them from I grew up in the '90s, and they were sort of ambiently
Inevitable.
present in everybody's life, but I the only thing that stuck really from that time, it was the only things that stuck for most Americans, which was Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, maybe one or two other things. But when they started to sort of hint at the comeback, my algorithm started to get
Dude,
inundated with their interviews and stuff, and I was like, dude, these guys fucking rule, and they're just like cool and weird and funny. And I was like, these are the guys that sing Wonderwall, because and now I have a new appreciation for Wonderwall and Champagne Supernova, but like I just thought of them as those overplayed songs, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That were just like, I mean, I'm hesitating to say this, but they kind of occupied the same space in my head as like Drops of Jupiter or something. You know what I mean?
Dude, for sure.
Like, yeah, like that, just like, oh, that's in the world and it's on at restaurants and old people sing it at karaoke.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so I didn't really appreciate it whatsoever. But once they started, where I started to see them be cool guys, I was like, there's got to be more to these guys. And I went back and just looked at like, okay, Oasis, just literally Google Oasis and like, what are the albums? And I just started listening, and I was like, I fucking love this, and I really got excited by it and was like, wow, this is cool. And I started really diving in, and I started talking to Jeffrey Osmus, my good friend and comedian, amazing comedian. And I was like, dude, you're into Oasis too, because he had mentioned it. We had some conversation in the past when I still thought of them as Drops of Jupiter. And I was like, I was like, what, we were just talking about music. And he was like, yeah, Oasis, maybe my favorite band. And I was like, what? Come on, really? And he was like, I'm serious, man, And so when I started getting into him, I started talking to him about it, and he was like, you got to listen to the Master Plan. You got to watch the Nebworth show. You got to all this. And I was like, yes, thank you. I just wanted to soak it all up. And then we met up to write him, like Tim Smith. I don't know if you know him, also a comic, good friend of mine, Tucker Brookshire. We all meet up to like write in New York. And we met up one time, and I was like, dude, I'm into Oasis, dude. I'm like in. And he was like, oh, well, hey, me and I'm going to see him in London. And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. I'm so jealous. And he was like, well, I actually have an extra ticket. And I was like, what now? And he was like, yeah, man. Like, because it was all like, the ticket drop was such a big thing. And it was like him and our friend Bobby Condon became like, we're both big Oasis heads. And I guess we're talking about it when the drop was about to happen. And they were like, we're both going to get on, whichever one of us gets through, get 4 tickets, and we'll just figure it out. And so one of them bought 4 tickets, and it became it was obviously the two of them. And then our other friend, Tommy Brennan, who is now on SNL, which is insane,
which is nuts.
but it's so crazy. But he so it was the three of them, and I was like, uh, you don't have a fourth for that? And they were like, no, it was going to be this, our other friend that lives in the UK, but he can't do it. He's on the road, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but I'll take it.
Hell
I will
yeah.
take that ticket, and and everything else I'll figure out, and I like literally at the bar was like Googling flights and like just I was like already started trying to figure out the logistics, and I just jumped on it, and I was like, my fucking passport was expired, and that was a whole ripple of this. That was a nightmare. That was like, if
Didn't think about
you
that
can't
at the bar. That didn't.
didn't think about that. Thank God I checked, a week out and was like,
A week
it's
out,
pretty.
dude?
Yeah, because it's just, you don't think about your passport
Oh my
expire,
God.
you're just like, I have a passport.
So you're freaking out.
And so I freak out, and or no, I don't think it was a week out. It was maybe like 3 weeks out. Because the first time, or no, it was like 2, because the first time we talked about this was like 3 weeks out from
Wow.
the show.
Okay.
And because they had been expecting our friend in the UK to take that fourth ticket. So it was like, they were actually trying to fill the spot last minute. And I was like, all right, I'm going to figure it out, blah, blah, blah. And so I realized that my passport's expired. I'm figuring out how can I get an emergency one, whatever. You have to buy a flight before, like, to prove to the passport office that you need the passport imminently.
Oh my God.
So I had to buy the hundreds of dollars flight and then just risk it that maybe
You might not get.
and then I had to go
Fuck.
that I might not get it, and then I had to go to the Manhattan. I had to do this in Manhattan. I had to go to the passport office in Manhattan and be like, yes, it is an emergency. I do need to see Wonderwall live. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say the emergency is like
Yeah, yeah.
Liam Gallagher
It's literally like
and his brother
everyone
are
around
chill.
me is like, my dad is dying in Pakistan. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get home, and I'm like, have you heard? Definitely, maybe it's pretty good. You know what I mean? It's like,
I gotta find out what they open with at Nebworth, dude. At the O2 or
Exactly.
whatever the fuck happens. Dude.
it was Wembley,
Oh,
which was another
shit.
ripple of it, which was incredible because I'm a soccer fan,
Yeah.
and that's like I count, and also Live Aid and all that shit. It was just like, whatever I got to do, I got to make this happen. And so I did all that. I got the passport right, like literally 2 days before my flight. I meet Jeff. We stay in a hostel for like a couple of days to save money because, again, it was so
Yeah, dude.
last minute. And then, yeah, man, it was like and it was cool because he set up a show. I mean, he's doing so well. He set up a show that then we all made money on the show.
Wow.
Like,
hell yeah.
He very generously paid us too much honestly for the show to like help offset the cost of all of it.
The dream. Yeah, that's what you're going for.
And yeah, and it was, man. And we go and gosh, sorry, this is all backstory. This is not even the show itself, but
that's crazy. Like, I think I like to ask people leading up to the show, like, was this something that you bought tickets for 6 months out and you were just waiting around, or like, and this whole like,
it's a mad dash in this case.
Yeah, I mean, for people who have done like a Europe tour, or like their favorite band has gone to Europe, and then a group of your friends is like, we're doing this, and you're like, oh, fucking, maybe I can do this, and then it comes down to like the last couple weeks, and you're seriously looking into it. That's like a very surprisingly relatable thing for the people that listen to this show, dude.
Well, that's awesome, man. And I honestly, it was, and I'll get into the show itself too, but like that, it became like, it's gonna be a way that I travel going forward, is like have tentpole like events that, it's fun to go, okay, I've never been to, I don't know, Berlin, whatever, but and then go to the city and walk around and see the sights and go to a restaurant that you heard about and blah, blah, blah. But man, if you have something to go there for, and then everything else, all those other things that you would have already been doing that are cool to do in a new city, especially a international city, are also happening around that, and you have something cool to do to anchor it, it's, man, it really was like, wow, this is the greatest thing in the world. And also, London was just, it felt like everyone was there to see Oasis.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was just gonna ask,
It
like,
really
talk
felt,
about the scene and like the crowd, like, because that's the other thing when you travel, like, you're going to places that people tell you that you should go check out, and those places are usually tourist places. I don't have like an issue with like going to a tourist location on vacation, like you're a tourist, you should go check out the Eiffel Tower, or whatever it is. But like when you're going to a concert, like that's the people who live in that city are there, or if you're
Mhm.
going to a game or something like that. Like what was
Yeah,
that what was that scene like? What was the crowd like there? I mean,
it, I mean, I felt like half of our hotel, so we stayed in a hostel for 2 nights and a hotel for 2 nights, and both the hostel and the hotel, it was like, we got to the hostel and there was like a Adidas tracksuit top hanging on one of the other bunks. Like, it just felt like everyone in the city was there. Everyone was walking around in bucket hats. Everyone was walking around just being like, maybe, just like drunk UK dudes,
singing.
just like arm in arm, being just rowdy and awesome. And I've been to London one time before, and it did feel different. It really felt like, wow, this city's like alive for this. It really is sort of a national identity. That band is just, it means something to that country. And it was just like, the lead up to it was, and then everyone that we met, we were doing shows. We did Jeff's show actually after the Oasis show, but we were doing like spots on shows, like the couple nights that we were there before the Oasis show. And every comedian that we met, we were like, yeah, we're in town for Oasis. And they were like, God, that's fucking awesome. I saw them a week ago. They were incredible, and there was people from all over Europe. Like, we were at a bar late one night, and two guys walked in, hammered, bucket hat, everything. And I go, guys, how was the show? It's like the night before we were going. And they go, it was two Dutch guys. And the guy goes, I can't do his accent,
Yeah.
but he was basically like, he goes, okay, here's the thing, man. You got to take your expectations and fucking put them through the ceiling, brother. It's better than you could think it was going to ever be. I was just like, yeah.
You're just like, I got a fucking ticket.
I'm
going.
Like, yeah,
This is sick. Oh man.
And yeah, man, it was fucking awesome. And and it really did live up to that, man. It was just like, and the UK is so awesome with the fucking trains. There was none of this like logistics that you have with going to big shows in the US, where it's like, okay, God, we got to get a car. Where are we going to park? All this nonsense. It was just, take the train to this station, take the train literally to Wembley Station.
Yeah.
And you just walk out, and it's just, the train station is on like the top of a hill, and you walk, and then there's like a big multi-level staircase going down, and then you see like one long line of just people walking up to the stadium. And then there's the stadium, and it says, a banner, Oasis Live 25.
Dude.
And then the stadium, and Wembley's iconic arch over the top of it, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm here, man.
And that had, I mean, like you said, that satisfies the soccer thing too. Like, over the, I have been lucky enough to go to Arsenal's stadium, which opens up to the train station goes to the stadium into the town in a very similar way. Like, when to get off. Everyone's got the fucking stuff on. Everyone gets off at the one stop, and like it's going up. You're like crowded in with people going up the stairs, and then like it opens to the stadium. And like, yeah, what a fucking
everyone's singing some song about Bukayo Saka.
Like, what a fucking scene. We don't have anything like that in the States. Like, when people are like, oh man, I don't go to shows anymore because like it's such a hassle. I'm like, I get it, dude. I feel that.
Yeah, in America, and the crushing weight of the of being like trying to be an adult financially in America.
Yeah.
You know, God forbid you have one health problem in your life, and then you're like, well, I can never go to a show again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
You know what I mean?
sell the Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets. We gotta have heart surgery.
I need a leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
But,
national identity thing too. Like, I don't know that there's a band that we could point to in the U.S. that the U.S. like gets behind in a way where it's just like that's our fucking like maybe Bruce Springsteen in like certain pockets of the country.
Bruce
like,
was that.
Yeah,
Bruce was that for sure. At least in the Northeast,
yeah.
and he might still be for people of a certain generation. They definitely were.
And there's a bunch of country music fans not listening to this podcast, but there's a bunch of country music fans who are probably like, I mean, we got a whole bunch, dude. What are you fucking talking about? Like,
it's actually Morgan Wallen.
Not
Idiot, you know?
Not exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
exactly.
Like you said, the pride around those guys, even if like you were somehow there and not a fan, how could you not get swept up in that? You would just be like, yeah,
It was infectious.
Yeah, it's super infectious, and they're so cool, and they're so funny, and they're so like indicative of like, you know, what the kind of British guys you want to hang out with. And so that's that thing that we were talking about before of like
the fucking lads.
Yeah, dude.
The fucking lads at the pub.
And
you know, it's
the way they talk about other bands, like it's like our buddies talking about other comedians, but they're like on 60 Minutes or some shit. They're like, every band in the world sucks.
They're doing it. They're doing it as like the most famous person of the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
And they're just being like, yeah, that guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I saw one of the interviews that I saw, one of the funniest clips I saw was it was Noel getting asked. It was like a call-in show or something. And he must have gotten a bunch of like real questions from, you know, adults. And then he got one that was like a child that was like, what's your favorite dinosaur? You know, it's like a little kid, like, what's your favorite dinosaur? And he just like laughs for like 10 seconds. He just like Phil Collins. I go, that's funnier than any comedian does.
That is just for him like, too. God. Like that, he knows that kid's got no idea who Phil. That joke's not for anyone, but him.
Yeah, and he's not going like, well, I better give this kid what he goes. No,
Phil Collins.
This is for me. It's Phil Collins.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, and they just cut to the next question.
It's a real
kid just fully did not get what they wanted out of the situation, but.
What kind of speaking of him, like, and now like in the show, like in the actual time of the show, like talk about like what does he do to an audience? Like there's certain guys in certain bands that like when they decide to like talk in between songs, or if they decide to kind of go off script within the music, the crowd, like they're just like, people are all over it, you know? And he is the quintessence. He's the top version of that. He is the like what everyone could be compared to in that way. Like,
yeah, Liam is. I mean, they're just both so electric.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's like the fact that they walked out, you know, after all this time and all the, you know, shit between them, and then they walk out holding each other's hands up in the air, just being like, guys, we're fucking good, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, the crowd just was like the loudest. No, and we're general admission as well. We're on the floor.
Yeah.
And we're just like in the middle of this sea of people. And it was just like, and, you know, I don't know if you saw any of the videos of like their banners, or not banners, but their, you know, the backdrop. But it was all like, you know, it says like, this is not a drill. And they start playing the fucking in the bushes, like, and it's just like all these, like, it's like a montage of all the headlines of like Oasis breaks up, Oasis, and it's like, are they going to, and then they walk out with their hands up and it's just like, And then they start playing Hello, and it's just
Fuck.
like, da-na, da-na-na-na, and it's just like the most electric atmosphere I've ever seen anywhere. And then, Liam, just the moment he hits the fucking microphone, and there's something about how he doesn't move the microphone. He's like, he's like, it's fucking right here. You know what I mean? And he just walks up, and the moment he said, and the first thing he said, I think the first thing he said was Oasis vibes in the area. And you're just like, yeah, dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
While the vibes are like through the fucking stratosphere, you're like, yep, these are Oasis vibes. He's just like,
Oasis vibes in the area. And it was just, and then the first line, I don't feel as if I know you, of the first song. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just like,
oh, dude.
Like, it was so fully, there's moments, and I know you felt this on stage. There's moments when you really feel like you have the audience, and they are moments, but this is a guy who every moment he's on stage, he has them.
Yeah.
100%. And it was just like, and then it's just like so much control. And I think too, like the years that have passed and the professionalism and like him feeling like, I don't want to fuck this up again a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like he's like, I'm going to fucking get up there and I'm going to show them that I can fucking do this still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That I got it whenever.
And it was
I got it whenever I want it.
Whenever.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll answer the call,
Yeah, dude.
And I will. It was just 90,000 people. Every single word of every single song was sung by every person in the crowd, it felt like.
Dude, that's crazy.
Every single one.
Yeah, I mean,
it
like,
was so crazy.
When you're like a guy like him, he like sometimes when you're watching a musician who has control over the audience, like I do this with Trey from Fish. I feel like he is a guy who can lock a stadium of people in, but it's usually through his musicianship, and it's usually where he's pretty locked in on what he's doing, and it's almost as if like it doesn't matter if anyone else is even here. Liam is like the exact opposite of that, where he's all he is completely vulnerable, just himself. There's no instrument. He's just gonna look right out at the crowd the entire time, and own the audience and own all the moments. Like there's something about like the musician who's able to kind of like step away and almost like not look or not feel it almost a little bit, but Liam's like right there with the crowd in every single step. He's like looking at everybody, like it's crazy to watch the control.
And then when he is locked in when he is delivering what his part.
Sure.
And then there'll be just the instrumental portions, and he will just walk back and just be like just like and you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
He's just shaking a tambourine like this while every single person jumps over and over again. I mean, and then he has do the Poznan, which I don't know if you, which is like a soccer thing that a couple of soccer teams do, where everyone in the stadium turns around, faces backwards away from wherever they're, away from the action.
Yeah.
And all puts their arms around each other and jumps up and down. And he has the crowd do that for the beginning of Cigarettes and Alcohol. And dude, it comes in and everyone is looking away from the stage and is, arm in arm. We're in the middle of the general admission, thousands and thousands of people, and we're looking away from the stage, and it's Wembley. We're seeing everyone doing this all up in all the actual seating of the stadium, and everyone's jumping up and down, and then they're playing that riff that he stole from T-Rex, and it's like it's so electric, and then it just goes crazy. Everyone throws fucking beers in the air and turns around. It's just the amount and I mean, like the first like 9 songs were just like bang, 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 bang. And then and then Liam like goes like this and like walks off for a minute, and then they play, you know, Don't Look Back in Anger and Half the World. Then, you know, Noel plays acoustic Don't Look Back in Anger and Half the World Away and
You're just balling.
Little by Little, and you're just like, what, dude? It was
Jesus.
just, it was so out of this world. It was not even close the best show I've ever seen, like by far.
What did
And I mean, you know,
what did your Oasis Sherpa Jeffrey think about the show? Was he like, this is the greatest show ever, or you know?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Because it's like
He was
the first time I ever saw Fish, I went with a guy who's seen like 300 shows, and in the whole time I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and you know, he's like,
yeah.
well,
And he's like, the Bakersfield 2008.
yeah,
you
right,
know,
yeah,
He's like,
1000%.
he has some other bar that you're not, and you're like, well, now you're ruining it for me.
You're there with the guy.
No, he was
your
totally
fan guy. You know.
Yeah, he was totally. I don't think he had ever seen them, you know, because they've been gone for so long.
Where would you?
So, yeah. I think he, yeah. I mean, it was just it was so crazily magical, and yeah, he felt the same way. And it was there's a ripple that I haven't told you about. I feel like I've said ripple a lot.
Fuck yeah.
But
cool.
But okay, so there's a thing that happened that I haven't mentioned. That was that as we were walking up, Tommy was walking up and had a little tiny joint in his pocket and got sniffed by the drug dogs in like the line, and they came out and were like, 0 tolerance, voided ticket. And we appealed, talked to everybody, really tried to get him in, and they were just like, no, it's just a 0 tolerance. Like, weed is just completely illegal there.
Oh my God.
He didn't get into the show, man.
Oh.
And it was a really fucking brutal thing of walking up, and you know, we're in the stadium going like, just like,
oh,
like what just happened, you know? And we're texting him, and he's like, dude, I'm so sad. And we're like, and you know, Jeff, we had met other comics that were like there with famous people, and we were like texting them like, hey, can you do anything, blah blah blah. We like really tried everything we could possibly do.
Dude, that is insane. I would have never guessed.
They wouldn't do it. And it was just to take some of the sting out of this, he was going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival the next week, and they were playing in Edinburgh, and he saw him there.
Sick.
So okay. It's not,
thank God.
He did get to see them, and you know, a friend of ours like gave him a ticket, I think, and it ended okay.
And then,
but that night,
you know, Lauren gave him SNL because of all that.
And then he also is a cast member of Saturday Night Live.
So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You guys made that call.
So he's fine. I think I would maybe rather have that than have been to the show. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know. No, you saw him holding hands, dude. You saw him holding hands.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I saw him holding hands, which they probably did in Edinburgh as well. But
wow.
No, it was brutal because we walk in and we're like, it was such a punch in the face, and we were like, fuck, how can we enjoy this now? And our friend, did you ever meet Bobby Condon?
No.
In Chicago?
No, I never met him.
He's in New York now. He's a really funny comedian and just a wacky fucking guy. And he goes, all right, guys, it's war rules. Okay. He's dead. he goes, man, that sucked. That was really bad, but you know, it's D-Day, and we gotta go enjoy this. You know, like we can't, and literally we were texting Tommy too, and he was like, guys, don't let this ruin it. Go fully enjoy this and really like experience it. Don't be thinking about this the whole time. Have a blast. I'll fucking see him, you know? I mean, it was a real bummer, but you know, at once they started playing, it was like, I don't know who's around me. I'm in this, you know?
You forget you're sending him videos. You're like, this is so sick.
I'm like, Tommy, isn't this? Oh,
Oh,
Tom,
dude.
he's not here.
Dude, that is, I mean, I'm so glad to hear that he got to see them
Yeah,
in the
I
weeks
know that was
following
the
over there specifically. Like, even if you got to see him
yeah,
in the States, I feel like there's just the added level of that you saw them in
not
the
quite the
UK,
same.
and
Yeah,
you saw them over there, and like with those crowds of
yeah,
people that like understand how big of a fucking deal it is. Like, yeah,
yeah.
that sucks, but such
It's
a
not quite a happy ending, but it's a better ending than if he never got to. But
he sees them.
that yeah, he'll know him eventually. Now he's gonna be he's gonna invite him to a dinner party or something now.
I was gonna
But
say what a great story when they come to SNL this year. He's gonna be like, I got kicked out for a joint, and they're gonna be like, well, you should have.
yeah, and they're gonna be like, yeah, the drugs are bad.
Why would you fucking do that?
Famously, we are anti-drug banned.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, I mean, but it really was just amazing, man. The once we got to like being in it, it was just so like I've never been more swept up in anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just, and that's what you're looking for, and that's what I'm now looking for. Going forward.
Yeah.
Is to go to more stuff that's like I was like, oh, this is possible to be swept up in this way, and that's a very high bar, and it's not like, oh, any show that I go to, it has to be that good, then I'll never be happy in my life. But it's like, there's a world of feeling that a lot of really, really talented bands and musicians could put you in that place. And it really made me excited to like find new music and stuff too. I was like, I came away like more passionate for music in general. I was like, wow, if this is what I can, there's like, I felt like it unlocked something.
Yeah. It's like, I love
Does that make sense?
I love this shit, and I can be a fan of this, and that's a huge thing. Do you feel like it, like before I let you go here, do you feel like it affected your performance at all after? Like, do you feel like the way that you have approached your own art has been influenced at all by what happened, or maybe you're still chewing on it, or?
Well, definitely still chewing on it, but I think so. Yeah, actually, that's a really interesting question, but I really think it made me want to maybe be less safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a level of confidence that you can have that is also like sort of within your idea of yourself. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm tracking.
It's like, I'm confident. I know I can do what I know I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's another level of confidence that is like, I'm going to do this and y'all take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I think,
yes.
I think that is, and I don't think I had really seen that to that level until I saw like Liam and Noel do that. I was like, whoa, this is another thing. Those guys are just, I mean, they're so doing what they do up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it. And yeah, I think it did make me aspire to like have that feeling at least someday, and I think it'll be, something that you're working towards. But yeah, I think and I'm very much I'm a comedian that I do my act, I do like the jokes that I have written and I stand there and I tell them. But I think I've found a few little moments and things to be like, deliver things a little more like, I don't give a fuck if you like this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And not like they're like challenging or controversial or anything, but just like, if however you guys receive this, receive it, but this is what I have to say.
And
a little bit less like, oh, I hope this
well, like
you know what I mean?
You've worked very hard to become good at this, and you also know what is good and what's not good, or like what's good for your set or what's not good for your voice, or like when you're writing, you're like have a barometer at some point. You understand what is like good or not, and then like yeah, there are people who are like. I don't fucking care what you think, if it's good or not, or if you thought this was
Yeah.
corny or the lyrics sucked or whatever. Like, this is the
Yeah.
greatest fucking show ever. Like, you know, and yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, there's no one that's more like that than those guys. They're
yes,
like, we are the best band in the world. And a footnote is I saw them again in New York at MetLife.
sick.
Great, amazing. 10 out of the way I've been describing it was like 10 out of 10, incredible. But, you know, London was a million out of 10. It was not on the charts, you know. But there was Noel, I think during Half the World Away, or maybe I think it was Half the World Away, and it was, you know, he basically like didn't sing, barely sang the song. It was just everyone sang it, the whole stadium. And he like leaned into the mic at the end and he goes, no one has fans like this.
I
And I was like,
definitely don't. There's no.
I don't. Yeah,
There's
I certainly do not.
there is a super first thought bit there where it's like I've never started one of my jokes and then the crowd's just like and then blah, 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 and like did the rest of the
Right,
joke back to
right.
me, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
Just let him do it.
Just watch them like this.
Hit the punchline and then be like, "Thank you guys, good night."
Yeah, it might be bad actually. It doesn't translate to comedy, but that level of confidence is just there is no. I've never seen anyone be so confident and so like this is what we do and we're the fucking best.
Yeah,
And I think it's like I'm never gonna have that exact attitude, but there is something in that to emulate. You know what I mean?
I would love to watch you grow into Dice. You know, that'd be awesome if you could turn into Dice. If your show is.
You haven't seen my hands with this whole time. I pull them up. I have leather gloves with the fingers cut off.
Oh,
Oh! I smoke a cigarette.
dude, thank you so much for doing the show. It's been great chatting with you. It's been great catching up. Please give me some.
Man.
This is going to come out next Tuesday. Please give me some plugs where people can go see your show.
Yeah, man. Well, it definitely just follow me on everything, Instagram, all that. It's Tyler J Horvath, Horvath, on all social media. And I have mostly just opening dates. Like I'm opening for Jeffrey in Fort Collins. I'm opening for Jeremiah Watkins in Hartford, Connecticut. Wait, you said this is coming out next Tuesday?
Yeah, this will be out Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you live in close to Hartford, come see that. That'll be fun. It's at the Funny Bone there. Yeah, I have a lot of opening stuff. Tampa, I'll be home at Side Splitters in February.
Sick.
Chicago, I'll probably be around the holidays. So follow me on Instagram. I'm probably going to set up a show there, probably at the Lincoln Lodge. But yeah, so just follow me on there. I'm trying to set up more of like a tour for next year and start headlining more and more. So yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to plug, and it's been great to talk to you, man. It's cool. I'm glad you're doing well. And if I'm out in the Bay Area, I'll hit you up.
Yeah,
let's actually hang.
Please do. Yeah, and if you're listening to this podcast right now, Tyler is a fucking fantastic follow on Instagram. If you
Thanks, man.
If you like jokes, if you like good jokes, it's a really, really good follow.
I appreciate it, man.
That was my conversation with Tyler J Horvath. Man, what a fucking guy. You know? What a pal. Very cool that he reached out and wanted to do this episode. I'm so thankful for that, that we got to catch up over this and chat about our careers as concert goers and as comedians. Go check out Tyler like I said, in Hartford, Connecticut at the Funny Bone, November 22nd and 23rd. He will be there with Jeremiah Watkins. If you're out in Colorado, you can just wait until December 4th through the 6th. He will be at the Comedy Fort with Jeffrey Asmus. Check out those shows. And thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Right now, this is only coming out on YouTube. I'm making sure that it's ad-free for you guys for right now. There's other episodes out right now with Sax and Maddie talking about sobriety. We got a founder of Headcount, Andy Bernstein. We have got Bill Kreutzmann's current manager and the manager of Reed Mathis and Holly Bowling, Benji Eisen. All of those episodes are out right now on YouTube, brand new ones. We got a whole bunch in the past to listen to as well. So check those out, guys. And until next time, have a great show.